we're going to expect something to happen here today. And I believe that. If I didn't believe it, folks, I wouldn't be here. I just got shot last Tuesday. I spent all day yesterday, came across the border from Ukraine, went into Poland, came here only for one reason, because of your pastor. Yeah. Because, see, when you've done this for 60 years, and you're in a different church almost every week, you get a little bit of a sense of people. I just turned 77 a week ago, too. So that was, whatever. So when you've been shot 3 times, been in 3 plane crashes, had 5 concussions, and you worked with Christians for 60 years, you better have a sense of who's real and who is not. Yeah. I've developed a little bit of discernment being around folks as long as I have, especially in different parts of the world where I'm asked to do things that are not what I'm doing here today. And so out of that, Pastor and I met years back, and he's had me here before, and I wasn't that excited to see all of you. But I was really excited. I was hoping I could see him. He was the one. But if you're watching, Pastor, I'll call you later. I'll check up on you. You're my friend, You're my friend.
Amen.
Love you, man. Friends for life. Friends for life. So, yeah, it's good stuff. Anyways, we are at a very unique time in the history of Metro. Barring unforeseen stupidity, by now in the end of the year, we will be dealing with 2 million kids in Sunday school. That's not online, that's not on television, it's face-to-face. That has never been done in church history. Why am I telling you this? Is because, and to thank you for talking about, and thank you for you and your wife for sponsoring those kids, and doing what has been put in front of us to do. We were joking, I don't get excited when church people ask me to do anything, but I get very excited now when non-Christians ask me to do something. Because when you have a letter like we have from the Zambia government, with the government stamp, when they have opened up the entire nation, they've asked us now to do 1,000 elementary schools. Carte blanche, come in every week, do Sunday school in the public school, not private school, in the public school. Say, here it is. We've seen what you guys have done all across Africa, all across South America, across the Middle East, in Asia. We need this in our country. And so we're at that unique, very unique time where it's taken 60 years to be the overnight success. And now finally some of these folks are saying, okay, now we get it. Now we have seen, after all these years, a generation of people that has been changed, not just in New York City, because I've lived in Brooklyn for 45 years. But I've also spent a tremendous amount of time in this part of the world. I have watched, and because of my PhD from the University of Wales, I became very, very uniquely aware of the great rich history from this part of the world in missions. I hope all of you, I don't know how many students of missions we have here, but interestingly enough, the great missions of the world were produced from this part of the world. Yes. But something happened. Something happened. Why are we not producing the missionaries, the people that have the head, the heart, and the hands to do something? I know a lot of Christians have it here, yeah, but they don't have it here. Some of it have it here, and they're dumb as a rock. But every once in a while, you may get somebody here, and the hand and the legs to get out and do something that was normal 100 years ago in this part of the world. What happened? What changed? The existential question today. And I'm going to walk you through some things that... how many first-time visitors? Any first-time visitors here today? Everybody kind of home folk? Oh, first-time visitor? Come back next week. Yeah, it'll be better next week. Okay. I only come here every couple of years. So you caught it on a tough weekend. Sorry. But next week will be better. But I'm going to be at the back. There's a, when you're a guest speaker, all the guest speakers always sell something. So not to be confused. But for those of you that have not picked up that book, because it's been, when was I here, Trish? It's been long. 17, it's been a while. That was when I had just been shot in Syria. I got shot in the back by the you Russians. Sorry. They are what they are. But we've added some chapters in this. If you've not read the book, oh, you're Russian? You got something to say? Now's the time. Okay. Love you, man. Okay. So it's in 32 different languages, has been one of the most popular books, and it's actually required reading in many of the Bible schools all over the world. So if you've not read this book, it's not really my testimony, it is a little bit, but tells the story of how Metro has become the driving force that it has become. Who's never read this book? Let me see here. Well, that's discouraging. Let's try it again. Who's never read the book? All right, never read the book? Okay, I'm going to give it to this guy back here. Thank you, sir. Merry Christmas. You got it, man. You got it. So we already gave one of these to one of the little girls that was kind of looking at it on the back table. When you see these things, you can't get these on Amazon, all right? My second trip in the Philippines, we do Sunday school in the garbage dumps and in the North Cemetery where the kids live on the graves, on the tombs. We do Sunday school there every Friday. And so I was watching one of the garbage trucks, and I was assuming that some of the folks were looking for some kind of food to scrounge. And one of the staff members, they said, no, Pastor Bill, they're looking for those glossy magazine covers. And what they do, they get the magazine cover, they cut them in strips about that wide, wet them, roll them into these beads. So it's a pretty cool thing. When I saw them do it, and so a lot of these ladies that live there in the dump and in the cemetery, this is how they provide for their kids. So I told them, I said, when you make these, send them to New York. I'll take them with me on the road when I go every week. And so when you get these, if you want, there's no set price for these. But all I would ask is if you get one for yourself or as a gift, is that you would make a commitment to pray for these ladies and their kids, living in some very tough situations. And some of the folks said, Pastor Bill, we want to go with you when you go to some of these places. Now, you want to go with me to Ukraine next week? No, you don't. No. I know that. I've done this long enough. But if any of you would like to go when we do Africa or in the Philippines, when Yenny first time she heard about the ministry, she went to the Philippines and saw that. It became, as she said, that defining moment. When you see something, if you want something you've never had before, you've got to do something you've never done before. And we know that intellectually. I'm not sure we always get it spiritually, but please pray for those gals. But they're in the middle of that. So, and then of course, this is a book I just finished. It's one of 2 hardback books. The picture on this, it's not worth anything else except a picture of me reading the first book to this elephant. Now, I don't know if you've ever talked to an elephant. It's kind of like folks on Sunday morning. Anyways, it took us hours to get that stupid elephant to get in that place. So the first book I did was Elephants of Relevance, of some things, just things that people kind of need to understand. And so I'm on the cover here, I'm reading this book to the elephant. And he was actually quite attentive. So I was like this, and then and I don't know why, I was reading the book to him, waiting for the photographer to take the shot. And then finally, the elephant just goes, looks at me, and blinks his eye. And I thought he was moving his head like he got it. I don't know if he did. But anyways, I just finished this one up. It's the follow-up to this first one of Elephants of Relevance. So what we're going to do today, because I've never had a chance to show this book here. So this is going to be, what do they call it, a BOGO? Get one? How do you say it? You know what I was saying. Buy one, get one? Thank you very much. Okay, so we're gonna do a 2-for-1 here. So we get the new one and the other one. They kind of go together. So, but this is the only hardback books that I've done, because when you share the truths in these, be prepared. Because if you're getting people to understand some of the things that I have put together, and so, but it's perfect because it's a hardback. So it's a dual purpose book, good information, and it can be used as a weapon if you need to. What else we got? Oh yeah. This is the most important thing you guys will see on the tables back there. You folks got a chance to sponsor a child. Thank you very much. Thank you. Because as Jenny said in the introduction, when my mother left me on the street corner, that was 1960. Different time in America. Clean this up. It's too basic. Clean it up. Okay, thank you. Different time in American history. Sitting on that corner, I think you guys all know, anybody could have picked me up. Anybody. Anybody. Gang member, pedophile, drug dealer. Anybody could have picked me up. But the only one that stopped was the ordinary Christian. Operative word, ordinary. Bring it up a little bit, guys. Bring it up to sound just a little bit. My voice is kind of, yeah. If that's clear back there, I'm good, thanks. And so, when I decided to try to put this, it's not a program, I don't even know what you would call it. Sponsorship program, I guess, for lack of a better word. Because I know when that Christian man stopped, he put his hand on my shoulder, he said, "Are you okay?" That put something in motion. Yeah, he got me a hamburger, he got me a Coke, he borrowed the $17, sent me to the Sunday school camp, yes. And that was all happening within a 5-hour period of time on that day. Because I was the recipient, for lack of a better way to explain it, for one man who got it. Appreciate what you said, putting the legs on love. He did that. And that's what put. And now, when you're dealing with 2 million kids every week, and nations are coming and saying, you have to bring the Sunday school to our city, to our country. But it started with one ordinary guy. His own son was in the hospital dying of leukemia, but he still stopped for me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying. In the midst of all of the drama that all of us have in our lives. Yeah. So anyways, this is an opportunity. If you ever thought one person can make a difference, yeah, I am the result of one ordinary Christian who saw beyond himself. So I'll be back there. Yenny, what is the sponsorship price on this? Now it's how much? 23 pounds. That's what I thought. So it's 23 pounds a month. You can be as involved in the life of your sponsored child as you want to be. Go with me to the Philippines. When is the next trip to Philippines, Yenny? When is the next trip to Philippines?
Yes, mid-November there's one, and next February.
Okay, so next one's November, and then it's February for another one. So for some of you, it's only a week. Come spend the time, and you never know. But we've got kids that from Metro Kenya, Metro Philippines, and these are the neediest kids that we have. That's why I have them on the table. So thank you, gentlemen, ladies, for allowing me to share this. And if you're wondering, does one person really make a difference? I found this one little boy that somebody didn't want him. They threw him out of the car window. And Yenny, you have that shot? And they uncommonly tough areas there in Africa when these kids, where nobody wants them. And because of the water, and so nobody wanted the kid. You know how it goes. And the girls said, Pastor Bill, we don't know what to do. We want to feed him. And they were trying to feed him with a straw in that tumor, but it wasn't enough. And I said, I'll get down to you. So I was going to go down to where all this was happening. And I said, why don't you fly him to the States? And, I've got Christian doctors, and we try to save his life. We'll do the best we can. They said, he was born in the bush, so he doesn't have a birth certificate. So if you don't have a birth certificate, you can't get the passport, no plane ride. I said, okay, I'll be there tomorrow. So I'm the pastor of the biggest Sunday school in the world. And I said, I'll see you tomorrow. The need is still the call. I'm waiting for God to call me. Shut up. Please. The need is still the call. If you see a need and you can fill that today, that's the call today. You know what I'm saying. So I get down there. You say, Pastor Bill, what did you do? Well, I found a guy that makes fake birth certificates, guy that makes fake passports, in Jesus' name. And I get it. I know. That's why I love talking like this in this part of the world, because that's as foreign for some of you guys to think that you would ever do that. That's not very spiritual for you, is it? Yeah, I know. I get it. Yeah. Sometimes you can't play by the rules, can you? You want to watch the kid die? Go ahead. I'm not doing that. Sorry. Consequently, got the kid to the States. One of my doctor buddies, he said, look, the hospital I work in, you're not the guardian. We don't even have legitimate papers for this kid. If he dies in our care, we're all in trouble. So I can't get the Christian doctors to help me. So finally, I ended up at Miami Children's Hospital and found a Jewish doctor, unsaved. He said, preacher, he said, well, we'll do it, and we'll do the operation for free. He said, but you're going to have to sign off, because if this kid dies, we cannot be responsible. I said, I'm willing to do it. But I said, Doc, I'm going to ask you to do one thing. I said, just don't give up on the boy. He said, what do you mean? I said, no. I said, there was people that didn't give up on me when I was little. So I'm asking you, don't give up. And it was about 5 hours in that waiting room. And I was praying. I just saying, God, you shall live and not die. You shall live and not die. And I just believe it. And the nurse said, she came out, she goes, his lungs are collapsing. They don't, I said, go in the OR and you remind the doc of our deal. You don't give up on the boy. And so, anyways, after the operation, Yenny, you have that picture there? Yeah. You better give God a praise. You better give God a praise. Yep. They did a pretty good job. They did a really good job on this little guy. And I never get to tell the whole story, but I thought it would just make sense today, is that the people that were sponsoring this little boy and believing God, they knew he may not make it, but they just believe God and have been with him all this time. And so he was, what, 8, I think, 8, 9 years old. And they were putting him together, and they've been taking care of him and sponsoring him all this time. And then I finally got a more recent picture. You got that other picture? That's him now. Come on! Come on! Come on! He's 18 years old. Now he's a Sunday school teacher. He's taking care of kids that just were like, you get it? I knew you would. I knew you would. So when you get in there and you see this, these are not just stock National Geographic pictures, folks. You just saw in 60 seconds what happens. Again, one ordinary person that gets it. That's all this is. One person says, can't do everything, but I can do something for somebody. So, thank you. Thank you. Take the pictures down, Yanni. Thank you. I appreciate it. I want you to get your Bible out quickly. They told me this service usually lives at 12:30. Not today. Just so you know. So if you think you're going to get out on time to beat the Baptist for the restaurant, it ain't going to be today, Bubba. It ain't going to be today. But I'll try not to drag it out too much, because I want you guys to see something that's become very, very critical for me. And spending this tour of Ukraine was the 4th one that I've done. I am not in a position to get into a lot of details because I work with several governments doing certain things. And in the midst of that, this happened and some of these other things. But I wanted to share something that, not even share, that's too much of a church word. Where was I? It was downtown Central, probably 15 years ago. And it was a missionary that had been preaching in this church that I'm now at on that Sunday morning. And it was about 100 years ago that he had preached. He had just came back from Africa. And he was preaching, folks, at this. And now on this Sunday morning, the pastor of the church, he says, Pastor Bill, he said, do you know that this is the pulpit where this missionary preached. So you're going to get to preach on the same pulpit that... And I get it. I'm a history guy. I teach Old Testament. And I get it. But they were so consumed that this guy was speaking there. Anyways, I said, that's great. I appreciate the history. But I said, there's more than that here. He said, well, if you're interested... I said, yeah, I'm always interested in the backstories of things. This missionary, his name was Robert Moffat. Now, most of you, I don't know if that name is very familiar. I would hope that some of you can Google it later to know who Robert Moffat is and what he accomplished for God in Africa. But he was speaking in this church. It's one of those big cathedral churches, double balconies. And so on that Sunday morning, Moffat had just came back from Africa. And in the middle of his message, he made a statement. He said, I just came from Africa where I saw the smoke from 1,000 villages where the gospel had never been preached. Let me say it again. Just came back, saw the smoke from 1,000 villages. Gospel had never been preached. And right here on the lower balcony, there was a young man sitting in that right corner. And when Moffat made that statement, the smoke from 1,000 villages, that young man in his 20s, he could catch it. You know what I'm saying? Some things are caught, other things are taught. He caught something. He could see in his mind's eye. Call it a vision, call it whatever you want to call it. But he could see. The Holy Ghost just dropped something in his spirit. The smoke from 1,000 villages. And he could see it. He could see it. Service is over. Moffat's at the back door, shaking hands. The young man comes out of the balcony, shakes Moffat's hand. He says, Dr. Moffat, what do you need? What do you need? You need resources? You need prayer? You need what do you need? And Moffat looks at this young man. He says, I just need somebody to come help me. Oh. Is that a Sunday morning conversation? Things that make you go, Yeah, I knew some of you would know that one. I just need somebody to help me. And he did. It's a phrase that you don't hear it anymore. But in the late 1700s, 1800s, there was a phrase called the one-way missionaries. You ever heard that phrase? You don't hear it much anymore. Not in church here, in this part of the world. And when missionaries would make a commitment to go and reach folks in these other countries, instead of putting their belongings in a suitcase, they bought a coffin, casket, whatever term you guys use here. And they would take all their belongings, put them in the coffin, tie it up with rope, put it on the ship, and take it with them. Why would they do that? You know why they did that. Because the commitment was, when they went, they ain't coming home. They ain't coming home. Yeah. Those are the men and women that their commitment was stronger than their emotions. If you don't get anything else from this, you may want to write that down, because Christians love to live on emotion. It's all about how I feel. No, it has nothing to do with how you feel. Not a thing. You know there's people, when it's raining here, which it does, I'm surprised it didn't rain today. I was expecting it to, because that's part of living here. It's like being like in Seattle. I don't even know why you guys live here. Sorry. It just seemed like the right thing to say at the moment. People look on a Sunday morning, oh, Doris, it's raining again. Doesn't matter. It's time for church. It's time for church. Doesn't matter if it's raining. Doesn't matter if it's snowing. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You're here. I'm here. I came all the way. I got up at 3 a.m. yesterday. Got on, drove, because I knew to get through the checkpoint on the Poland-Ukraine, there to get in there to the Rizzo airport, and then go to Warsaw, then go to Heathrow, and then, But I told the pastor, I'd be here. I said, I'll be here. Even with taking one in the arm. Fortunately, my ranger friends had the right coat for me to wear. Yeah. So the smoke from 1,000 villages where the gospel had never been preached, and it clicked with this young man. He said, yeah, I'll go. And he did. Oh, the young man, you know the young man's name. That's David Livingston. Oh, you know that name now, don't you? Everybody in this room should know that name. And some of you younger people that don't, shame on you. And I'll call you out. If I ask you and you don't know, in Jesus' name. But I'll do it. I just got shot, so I've got an excuse. I've got an excuse to smack somebody today. David Livingston gave his life for the African people. Even when he got his left arm almost chewed off with a line, lost everything. Oh, but you know, when he died, see, because he was part of a Baptist denomination here in London. And when he went over there, oh no, you're going to die there. No, it's crazy. Don't go. You're nuts. But see, now he dies, and now the Baptist, any Baptist here? Of course not. And so, and the Baptist, and then when he dies, then they say, oh, no, go wrap him up with sheets, walk him to the coast on Mozambique. We're going to send a ship from here. We're going to bring him here. We're going to bury him in Westminster Abbey. If you have not been to the Abbey, if you haven't, you need to go. Yeah, right in one of the main auditoriums there. Bronze tombstone. But David Livingston's body is buried in Westminster Abbey, but on the west side of Zambia, just before they started walking him to the coast. 2 of Livingston's converts took a knife, cut his heart out of his dead body, put it in a metal box, and locked it. Go to Zambia. There's a little tree. It says at the bottom of this tree is buried David Livingston's heart. His heart was always with us. Now it'll be with us forever. How do people know that? How does that happen? How does stuff like that? Actually, yeah, you know how. You know exactly what I'm saying. One ordinary Sunday morning, just like here. See, you thought this was just going to be a regular Sunday morning, didn't you? Yeah, shame on you. David Livingston thought so too. Something happened. I want you to take a look over here, the Gospel of John. John chapter 20. John 20. It's the first Easter. It's Easter. And I had stumbled upon this, and I thought it was appropriate after where I just came from and what I dealt with last week. I thought, because I saw some things there on the front. saw some things. Saw some things. So I thought maybe, for those of you that are here, maybe you'll see some things. Maybe. The first Easter, Jesus had been buried. As they thought. So you've got 3 of Jesus's closest friends that come to the tomb. Yeah. Stones moved. Tomb's empty. And so Jesus' friends look in there. You got Mary, you got Peter, you got John, the other disciple. And they know Jesus. They knew the man. They heard his message. They saw the miracles. They heard him say he would die. They heard him say he would be resurrected. They heard it. They were there. First person, man. This wasn't history. This is real time. Real time. And they're looking in the empty tomb. And let's see. Let's see what happens here. Let's see. Let John chapter 20, look at verse number 1. And the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene comes. She comes early. It's still dark. She comes to the sepulchre, and sees the stone is taken away from the sepulchre. She looks, the stone is moved away. She looks in. What is the word here? And she sees. She sees. Oh yeah, she seeth. Now I don't know what kind of bogus translation that some of you read. Maybe see, saw. So I don't know. How do you say that in English? It's yeah. Anyways, I always read it from the King James version. That's the version Jesus read. So that's what I've stayed with. So now Mary looks in and she sees. She sees. If you guys don't get anything from today, I'm gonna drive it home. I'm gonna push you hard these last couple of minutes because I need to get you to see something. What do you see? What did I see last? Why am I asking you to go with me to the Philippines and see that? What do you see, Mary? You knew the man. You saw the miracles. You saw his life. And she's looking in an empty tomb. What do you see, Mary? What do you see? If anybody should have understood what she's looking at, stones moved. Oh, tomb's empty. Oh, he's not. And it says she sees the stone. What do you see, Mary? I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of Greek. My Greek is much better than my English, especially the English you guys use over here. I apologize. And when you look at this word, and I appreciate what you were saying in the offering, to relieve, such a great truth. And see, that word see or seeth there in verse 1. That's the Greek word blepo. B-L-E-P-O, blepo. What does blepo mean? Mary looks in, stones moved. It's blepo. What do you see, Mary? Blepo. Yeah. She didn't get it. She didn't get it. She only saw with her eyes. Oh, stones moved. Oh, tomb's empty. Oh, she doesn't get it. So I would have to ask you, how is that even possible? She knew the man. She saw the message. She's looking at what you and I would call what? A fulfilled prophecy right in front of her very eyes. She looks in. What do you see, Mary? She didn't get it. Sound like anybody we know? Yeah, a little bit, huh? Yeah. People are around this stuff all the time. And they still don't get it, do they? Nope. Yeah. What do you see? It was in Haiti. Our girls found this. Do we have that lady? I think. Yeah. And can we turn those lights down? I know we're live streaming, but we can bring it down. The other thing. Anyways, they saw this lady laying on the side of the road in Haiti, in Port-au-Prince. And our girls were just finishing Sunday school. And so they saw this lady, blood coming out of her nose. So they pulled the Sunday school truck over. They jump out. Everybody's just walking by. Same old stuff, huh? Always the same old stuff. I don't care what country you're in. It doesn't change, folks, does it? No, it doesn't. And so our girls, they can't speak the language. They're trying to do something. Obviously, they're looking at this pregnant lady. She's in trouble. So they try to pick her up, put her in the Metro Sunday school truck. They get her to a hospital. But then when they get her to the hospital, they found out she was not pregnant at all. Oh, now what do you see now? This thing had been growing inside her for months. Oh. What do you see? You thought 60 seconds ago, you thought you were looking at a pregnant woman. I guess you were wrong, weren't you? I guess you were. What do you see, Mary? We all think we see. Yeah. What do you see, Mary? Blepo. She only saw with her eyes. She should have got it. She didn't get it. We live in a country right here. We're here, right now. We're here. If there's any country that should know the story of Christ and who he is and what he did. I spend a lot of time in Asia. Yenny's my Mandarin translator. Spend a lot of time in Taiwan, a lot of time in Singapore, a lot of time in Malaysia. Central, how I understand some of these countries that have never been around the gospel. But here, with the history that you guys have in this country, come on, man. Come on. But Mary, she should have known, right? What do you see, Mary? Wait a minute. Go to verse 6 real quick now. I don't want to take it too long. So then Peter shows up. He comes over. He gets to the sepulcher in verse 6. And he sees the linen clothes. This is Peter. He's the guy that walks on water. And now, you would think, exactly, you would think. Now, I don't know how many of you people have ever walked on water. Probably nobody here today would be my guess. Peter, he's our guy. He sees, and now he looks in the tomb. He looks and sees the same exact thing that Mary sees. Mary looks in, blepo. She only sees with her eyes. She doesn't get it. Now Peter, he's looking the same. I'm really trying to be nice today because this really hurts. I took 2 pain pills and now they're starting to wear off, and so you're going to have to just get ready. Because it's really hurting right about now. But let me explain it to you. Anybody? It's Peter. It's Peter. I don't know if you've ever lived long enough or been around enough to see a real miracle. Have you lived it? I'm not talking about something on TV or some of this God channel stuff or some of these people. No. I'm saying first person live, have you lived a miracle? Have you witnessed the miraculous? My guy Han, little boy, it was last Easter. Yeah, he was a used kid, was when we started the Sunday school in Gaza City. I spent a lot of time in Gaza. I'm going one more time at the end of this year. Now they've got this peace thing going, and I'm just believing God that we're going to see that whole peace thing will hold. And so when we started that Sunday school several years ago, and he was a little kid that would come to the McDonald's on the beach by Tel Aviv, and I had one Palestinian kid, one Jewish kid. They were buddies. They read my book. They wanted to do Metro in Gaza City up on the Jabalia refugee camp, and we trained them. And then when the war came out, it was a mess. But now Hans, not a little boy anymore, now he's 22 years old. He saw his Sunday school teacher got his throat cut from Hamas when the war started. I don't know, you ever see your Sunday school teacher get his throat cut in front of you? No, you have not. Have you? No, you have not. And now he's 22 years old, man. No, he's 22. He said, Pastor Bill, I want to keep this thing going. God's been good to me. His mother's dead. His sister's dead. He said, I said, Han, I'll move you to the West Bank. I'll try to get you. At least it'll be safer. He said, I got to stay. He said, I said, bro, I said, this is too much right now. He said, let me finish the Sunday school at Easter. I got to tell the kids about the resurrection. Please, let me stay one more week. I said, okay, man, you do that, but after that, you get out of there because that thing's way too hot. So he's getting ready to preach, right? And I can't do this justice, but I'm going to try. So he's been having Sunday school just on the street with all the rubble, the AK stuff going on over here. You got bombs here. It's on a Sunday morning. It's Easter Sunday morning. He's got 800 people sitting on the ground, Palestinians. He's got 800 Muslims sitting on the ground. And he's going to have Sunday school. That ought to make you jump up and down. And somebody in the middle of the war would say, I want to talk about Jesus Sunday morning, Easter Sunday, so somebody can have the opportunity. So he's getting ready. He's got the whistle. He's got to blow the whistle. And a Palestinian woman starts running through the crowd. You got 800 people sitting on the ground. Everything's going on around them. You've seen it on the news. You know how that Gaza City area, you know what it looks like. And so Han blows the whistle, and this Palestinian woman is carrying this kid, and she's screaming through the crowd. She's got her kid's been dead 45 minutes. Okay? Kid's been dead. She has the kid. She puts the kid up on the table for the props of Sunday school. So the dead kid now is laying on the table in front of this crowd. She said, I heard that you Christians could help my son. Oh, okay. No pressure there, huh? You got 800 people watching now. Watching you, man. Watching you. And Han gets on the microphone as loud as he could. And he just says, everybody stretch your hand out to this dead boy. He said, we're going to pray and we're going to believe for a miracle. For this kind of crowd, in the middle of everything that's going on. And you know, when you're believing for God to do something, 30 seconds can seem like an eternity, can't it? When you just prayed, and now you're, and he just stood there. He just stood there. I'm so proud of him. He was the little boy that was with me in Sunday school at McDonald's. I'm so proud of him. And he just stood there. The microphone in his hand, he just stood there. And then all of a sudden, the little boy coughed. Yeah, you can. For some of you that never clap, you clap for that. Maybe you not clap for anything, but you clap for that. If you can't, you're in the wrong place. He coughed. Han put his hand in his boy's back, set him up, then stood him up, and as loud as he could on the mic, he said, "This little boy's alive because Jesus made him alive. Amen. And only Jesus could do this." And right then and there, he gave an altar call, and 700 Palestinians came to the front and gave their lives to Jesus Christ. In the middle of the mess, man. In the middle of the... What do you see, Peter? What do you see? You lived a miracle. And now he's looking in the empty tomb. And says, what? He sees the linen clothes. He sees the empty tomb. He sees the same thing that Mary sees. And now he's looking in there, and what? See, and that's why your Greek needs to be better than your English. Because you'll pick up stuff along the way that a lot of people, even preachers, don't pick it up. Mary looks blepo. She only sees with her eyes. But Peter looks, it's the same word in verse 6 as was in verse 1. See, theorio. That's basically where we get the English word theory. Peter looks in and he's trying to figure it out. He's trying to put together a what? A theory, a hypothesis, something, trying to figure out, is he alive? Is he dead? Did he rise? I don't know. I want to believe. I'm not convinced. I walked on water. I saw it. But now I watched him die. I said, what do you see, Peter? My God, tell me, what do you see? Theorio. He only saw with his mind. He couldn't figure it out. He ought to be able to, but he ain't getting it. He ain't getting it. Yeah. Couldn't figure out. I think he was from Lancashire. I can't prove that. It's just, I think it says that in the Greek, but I don't know. I believe it does. He only saw with his mind. He didn't get it. He didn't get it. So the question begs to be answered, even in the house today. What do you see? What do you see, Mary? Blepo. Just with right. How about you, Peter? What do you see? What do you see, Peter? He only saw with his mind. What don't we have? I think I got some pictures of those. Oh yeah. Well, this is not quite as easy to figure out. This in Haiti again. And I don't know. I don't know if you've ever held a little boy that was dying in your arms. Maybe some of you have, I don't know. But when you're in places like this, South Sudan, North Sudan, and you're in parts of this world, and Romania even, with these kids, I know with those you know what I'm saying. You know exactly what I'm saying. So when these kids are dying of starvation, and they're crying, and then is that starvation just when it's winding down, and they're just quiet. And I had this, but I was trying to get him somewhere to get him some food, but I knew. And he was just looking at me, and I was trying to get him somewhere to get him. And then the breathing gets really shallow, and then you see it, and his eyes go back, and he was gone. Okay. So, what the government does. See, I take pictures and I show pictures to folks, because if I don't do that, you'd think I was lying. I know how the game plays. So I have to take stupid pictures so I can show them to people to get people to get it. Yeah. I took these pictures myself. You got a close-up of these, Andy? I think we do? Yeah. So this is the government, the Haitian government that is now a lawless nation. That's a conversation for another day. So what they do, they take dirt, mix it with water, they make mud, and they make these. They put them outside. That's how I took the shot. They put them in the sun. And then they stack them up. And so when these kids are dying of starvation and they're screaming, crying, they call these mud pies. Well, you didn't know that, did you? Yeah. Well, you know that now, don't you? See, that's a great thing about stuff like this. When you see it, you can't unknow it, can you? Nope. Mud pies. So they have these things in stacks so they can give them to kids when they're dying of starvation. It makes them stop crying until they die. Huh. Everybody in this room should be so grateful that you live where you live. Yeah. That's why you moved here, didn't you? Yeah, you did. Remember who you're looking at. Remember who you're listening to today. I know exactly why you're here. What do you see, Mary? What do you see? She couldn't get it. She tried, but you couldn't get it. Peter, what? Why are you not getting this? Theoreo. But then last, look at verse 8. We got to go. Look at verse 8. And then the other disciple in verse 8, John, he looks and he comes to the sepulcher. He actually got there first, and he looked in, comma. And it says what? And he saw. Yeah, see? Yeah. He saw. She saw something. She didn't get it, Peter. So, but then when John comes in and he saw, and this is perfect transliteration in the Greek. Sepulcher, comma, and he saw, comma, and what? And what? Believed. And believed. And he looks in. He sees the same thing that Mary saw, same thing that Peter saw. He looked in. Yep, he's alive. He's alive. Not even a question was there. Not even a question. I knew he was alive. I knew he was alive. I knew. Why is it? You got 3 people. Yeah. He looks at that word there in 28th. Give me the Greek word on that. Yeah, it's Ido. When John looks in, it was Ido. Oh, it's the same word as verse 1, verse 6. But it's a different Greek word again. Different Greek word. You get it now, huh? What do you see? You see, Mary? Blepo. How about you, Peter? Theoreo. What about you, John? Ido. You know what Ido means? Exactly what it says in the transliteration. He saw, comma, and he believed. Not even a question. Not even a question. Huh. How is it? 3 of Jesus' closest friends should have known exactly. I wish I could have been there that first Easter. I'd have smacked somebody. I'd just beat the fire out of somebody. You should have known it. Should have got it, Mary. Peter, you should have got it. But when John looked at it, he goes, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew he was alive. I knew it. So I'll finish by asking you the question one last time. What do you see? What do you see? What do you see? I was in Ivory Coast. I got busted up at Ivory Coast. My last run there. And they were I was speaking at a conference. And I don't say this to be, I don't know why I'm saying it, but I need to say it. I'll be done. And I've been preaching my guts out to these guys. They need to see the need. You got to see it. You got to see it. You got to see it. And they put me in the car to go back to the hotel. And this was a gated compound. So the gates opened. And we just drove out. And there's 4 little kids. I mean, right there, man. Right across the street from this gated community, and there's 4 little kids rummaging for food in the garbage. And I looked at that, and I thought, what the heck are you guys doing? What in the world are you doing? It's right there, because it's always outside the gates, isn't it? It's always outside the gates, and it's just easier not to see it. And you just walk by it, and you drive by it. Nobody stopped for me for 3 days, but the one man. He saw something in me that my own mother didn't see in me, but he stopped. I think I have one picture. Yeah, that's just me with my little blue suit. Yeah. And you know me, but you don't know the other guy, do you? That's the guy that picked me up off the street. Yeah, take a good look at Ordinary. Take a good look. His own kid was dying, but he stopped for me. He had no reason to talk to me, to get me a hamburger, to send me to that Sunday school camp. He did nothing. But he stopped for me. And because he stopped, 2 million kids will hear the gospel every single week. Because one person saw a little boy that nobody wanted. What do you see? What do you see? Father, I'm very grateful that I got a chance to be back here with these folks. There's people here that understand. We started Zambia several months ago, and just in a few months, 450,000 kids are now in Sunday school. Just that quick. You say, how can it be that fast? Because God has sovereignly opened the door, and we're just trying to keep going through them. That's all. We've got another 1,000 schools opening. I saw it. I saw the need. They see the need in their own country. They just didn't know. And so now, I've got to try, just like David Livingston. He saw something. I'm going to do whatever I can to try to get enough resources to go into those 1,000 schools. Why? Because I have to. I have to. You know that. Because I know what it takes for a kid that's never had the chance. I get it. My life was in the balance on 3 days. It could have gone a number of ways those 3 days. But because one man said, are you okay? I said, no, my mom's gone and I'm hungry. I guess that was the call of God for him that day, wasn't it? Because the need's still the call. So, Father, thank you. We thank you for your word. It still speaks all these years. Blepo, theorio, I know. We thought it was only one word, but it was not. 3 people saw it 3 different ways. John caught it. He got it. So, Father, I pray that my friends here today will see whatever they need to see. Because there's still a boy sitting on a corner. There's a little girl that's been abused. And we all know. We know the need. I know the need now in Zambia. I know it's got to be done. And I'm going to do whatever I got to do. And our team, and whether it's Ghana, Ivory Coast, ready to go to mainland China, Pastor Bill. Yeah. It's on the list. It's on